It's time for Deck Pours, Episode 2. What's up, guys? It's Logan with East Tennessee Eats and Drinks here again on the deck for Deck Pours Episode 2. And today we're going to be talking about a very special little bottle that came in the mail to me for samples from the Bourbon Whiskey Library. You can find him on Instagram, Facebook. I think he's got a couple other social accounts, but those are the two I follow him on. And it's Anthony with the Bourbon Whiskey Library. He's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Very interesting little project that he was doing here. This is called the Rebound. It is the first edition cigar study. So this one, I'm smoking a cigar, actually smoking limited edition Baccarat Barber Pole. This is a really good cigar. It gives you a little bit of that it gives you that smoothness, but also a little bit of that pepper with the darker wrapper. So this is a great cigar for me. I love Baccarats altogether, and I think it's going to pair well with this Rebound. So let me tell you a little bit about what's going on with this project. So Anthony has a library card holder group on Instagram. You can join that by going to his account and clicking on the subscription link. And he, to his members, made available a special project that he did, which was a 10-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey that was double-barreled in a new American oak for 4+ months, and then finished with Brazilian Amburana wood. And I know a little bit more about this because he did a live yesterday, and I joined in on that. So the original intent was he was going to finish this in Amburana wood for 14 hours. As many of us do, he forgot and went off somewhere. I think he went to work, and then he came back and like, oh no, I probably messed this thing up. But we haven't tasted yet, but everybody that was on the live yesterday said it was outstanding. So really looking forward to getting into this one. Let me tell you a little bit about Amburana. So this is a new finish that I think it's been around for a while in the beer industry, beer finishing. It's kind of a new thing in whiskey, or at least it seems to be new, or it's been revitalized. I've never heard of Amburana wood until recently when another buddy of mine, Kent, from Whiskey Diz, also had a finished Amburana that he helped pick out at Starlight. So I really like that one. The Amburana wood, if you were to eat or even burn Amburana wood, like in a fireplace or something, or outside in a bonfire, it is poisonous. But for some reason, it is not poisonous when it's just in its raw format. So I'm not quite sure why that is, or at least I've read that. I hope I'm right, because I don't want to be telling you guys something wrong. But that's absolutely what I remember reading about Amburana wood. So don't try burning your Amburana chips after you're done with them, or anything like. Don't toast them or anything like that if you end up trying to do a finish. But it is good for just putting in a barrel to add different finishes. So what does it do? Amburana gives this buttery, cinnamon, like very, like, you know, cinnamon toast crunch type finish to most of the things that I've had it in so far. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this, and I believe we're going to end up with something very similar to what I've tasted before in Amburanas. So again, this is a 10-year Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey that he put in a 10-liter barrel and then filled it almost to the top, not quite, and then he let it age out on his deck, on his porch, back porch, for over 4 months, and it definitely went through all the weather elements. So there was extreme cold. It was out there during, I think, in the winter when we had that extreme cold spell here on the southeast, where it was like 4 degrees outside. So I'm pretty sure it was out for that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure given the time frame on this one. But it's been hot, it's been cold, so that's letting the whiskey go in and out of the wood. The whiskey that he put into the barrel was in the 90 proof range, and when it came out, this is an 85 proof whiskey right now. He did not water it down, but you know, to get a barrel ready to use for aging, for double barreling, or even when they are aged originally, you know, when they're used for the first time, many times the barrel is filled with water, and that's to expand the oak, the woods, so that they don't leak. So he added that water to make sure that the barrels were not leaking, and took all the water out. But even still, there's going to be some residual water that's either stuck in the wood or that may have just not been able to get out, and you don't want to dry it back out, because that would, you know, what you just did was to make sure that it was swelled up enough that it wouldn't leak. So you don't want to do that. So there was some water that was left in there that did proof it down a bit. But with that said, we're just going to go for this and see how she is. So the color is dark amber, very dark amber. If you can see that, I'm not sure if you can see that in the video, but it's very dark amber. I'll put my hand behind it so you can see how dark it is. I'm already smelling this thing from here. I haven't even put it up to my nose, but the wind's blowing in my face a bit here on the deck, and I can already get some buttery notes coming off of this one. So let's give it a little swirl, make sure we get it opened up and get some aeration. A little spill there. Well, bloopers, I guess, you know. Let's give it a nose here. Okay, definitely getting that traditional Amburana finish, like that creamy butter, Cinnabon type smell, but also a bit of like a red delicious apple, juicy apple coming off of this as well. And that might be coming from the bourbon, or it could be the finish. The apple is subsiding a bit. I'm still getting some of that citrus on the nose, like it's a little bit of burn on the nose, the ethanol burn, but it's more citrusy. But it's starting to open up more as I swirl here and going more to that traditional Amburana nose profile, which smells awesome, right? I mean, it's, you know, cinnamon roll, Cinnabon, cinnamon cake. You know, have you ever had like a bundt cake that's got that cinnamon on top? Oh man, I'm gonna let it sit for a minute while I take another puff here. And now let's go back to it now that I've had a little bit of cigar in my palate, and in my nose, obviously, because that gives it more of like obviously because there's smoke here, but more of a like a little bit of a charred flavor nose. But I think it's just a cigar. So let's see how it does on the palate. We're ready? Cheers, everybody. Now, if you remember some of my other deck pours and my other videos, I always take a few small sips to get my palate ready. I haven't been drinking today at all, so only thing I've had all day is water with lime. So I'm really got to get that palate coated so I can start to get the profiles that I want to get off of it. Just really coat your mouth. And I usually take 3 small sips, so that was 2. Like, I'm talking maybe a dropper's full is all that's coming in my mouth here. Okay. All right, so now that I've prepared my palate, we're gonna go back to this. Even at 85 proof, we're getting some good legs on the glass here. Shows the ethanol alcohol content. Sorry for all the birds. We're on the deck, people, so it's deck pours. That's what's going to happen. We're going to have all kinds of outdoor noises. So here we go again. This time with the palate profile and what I'm going to get. The cinnamon is not as pronounced as it was on the nose. That cinnamon roll finish is not there. It's more mellowed. You definitely can get that traditional bourbon flavor. And then on the finish, now it's coming. On the back of the palate, I'm starting to get that buttercream, like that, the filling in the like the cowtails. You know, the cowtails. You got the caramel outside. I can taste the caramels. I get the vanilla filling on the inside, but it's got that little bit of bite with a little extra cinnamon. It's like a dusting of that sugary cinnamon that you get on cakes and other things. Not straight cinnamon, ground cinnamon. This is the sugary cinnamon maybe you get on like on a sweet potato at a restaurant, right? When you got it mixed into that butter. That's what it is. The cinnamon butter. The real cinnamon butter, like real butter with cinnamon in it. That's what I'm getting right here. It's definitely, the cinnamon butter is coming through to me on my palate. Everyone's going to have a different palate. This is a great sipper. 85 proof, so it's not going to knock you out. But it's a super pour. It's about 75 degrees out here today, and you know, it's just chilling in the shade under the umbrella here on the deck, doing deck pours. And this is a great whiskey. It's paired wonderfully with this Baccarat barber pole, and nice job, Anthony. I'm really impressed with the way this turned out, and I'm looking forward to more things that are going to come from you as you continue to develop and experiment with different finishes and other spirits, let's say that. So this is really good, and I wanted to just go on live at my very first taste of this, and really appreciate the opportunity to taste this one and be part of the library club, library card holders. If you're not a member of that, it's only a few dollars a month, so you want to go ahead and take a look at that, think about it. If you're a bourbon enthusiast, it's great content. You're supporting a good cause, and you're helping projects like this one come to fruition. So really appreciate the opportunity for that. I'm going to finish this one off. As far as a rating goes, I'm going to go 4 out of 5 on this one. I was maybe 3.9 out of 5. It's really good pour. Lower on the proof, so it's not typically what I go after. Is 107-ish or higher proof. but it's a great sipper. It's just a good balanced drink, and it pairs really well with a cigar. So if you're a cigar smoker, take a look at something in the 90, 85 range to pair with your cigars. It's going well. The higher proof stuff's really going to kind of contrast your cigar more than I think most people would want that. You want to taste both of those, not just, you know, numb your palate. So again, thanks again, Anthony, and great job on this one. We'll see you next time on Deck Pours.